Janae Nicole coming to you from beautiful sunny South Florida. I hope you're having a great day. Today we're just going to be talking about getting your website set up. There are a ton of resources out there for you to get your website set up. So like we talked about in our earlier episode, there is no excuse for you not to have a website in 2015 and beyond because the cost of entry is just so low to all the way down to free. There's no reason for your business, if you're serious about getting into this business world and taking your passion project to the next level, there's no excuse for you not having a website. The reason I decided to go ahead and do this website episode is because, I have one friend that she's launching a book and a couple other friends that are in the business space already, but they don't have a website. And every time I talk to them, it's like, oh girl, yeah, I'm gonna get to it, I'm gonna get to it. And I'm just like, you're wasting such a huge opportunity for new clients to find you. And especially my friend that's launching her book, you don't want to set your website up after you've launched your book. That's something that you need to already have in place so that when you are doing your media buys and you're doing your outreach to try to get people to come and buy your book, they already have a place of reference to go to so that they can find more information about you, the author, and your project. So it's vitally important in this day and age that you get your website set up. Even if you don't have any money to get started, there are options out there for you. They're not ideal. Honestly, I do suggest that you put a couple dollars into getting your domain name. Like I told you before, a lot of times you can get your domain name for as little as like 99 cents. I know GoDaddy, a lot of times they have promo codes. If you just search promo code for GoDaddy for a domain name, you can get your domain name for almost free. That's the main thing. So we're going to go over this relatively quickly and I'll give you a lot of resources of how I got my website set up. It does take time, but because I've done it already, I can kind of help you take the learning curve off of getting started and some really great resources for you to be able to just jump in and go, and you don't have to do all the research I did, right? So here we go. The first thing is, like I said, your domain name. Now, if you are cheaping out on me and you want to go the free route, you won't be able to purchase your domain like I have. Your domain name is basically your www.JanaeNicole.com. That's your domain name. That's what your www is. I purchased my name and it wasn't expensive. It was under $10 to get my name. For 1 year, you do pay, that's an annual fee. You pay that every year. If you want to keep that name, you have to renew it. Otherwise, it can go back on the market. So really, your domain name starting out is really the only thing that you just have to purchase if you're serious. Now, if you're not quite sure about the business that you're getting into, or you have like a passion project or a hobby and you're kind of thinking about doing it but you don't know, maybe you might like it and maybe you may not like it, you can go the free route. But if you already have an established business that you are ready to take to the next level, spend them $5 to $10 and buy your domain name. I promise you, it'll be well worth the investment because that's going to come back into play when we talk about protecting your brand. And we kind of covered that a little bit in Name It and Claim It, and me telling you how important it is to secure your brand name across all platforms, right? That was the first thing, is getting your domain name. Now, if you're not going to go ahead and purchase your domain name and you're going to go with a free site, there's two free sites that I recommend just because ease of use and or ease of transition. Okay, so the only two I'm going to give you are the two that I have personally used myself. I've used Wix.com, Wix.com. That's a free they have a free version and they have a paid version. So if you're not quite sure and you just want to get in, that's a good option for a free version. It's pretty simple to use, it's pretty straightforward, and like I said, there's a ton of tutorials on YouTube to tell you how to get it set up if you're just not tech savvy at all. Go to YouTube, type in Wix, set it up or whatever, and it'll pop right up. Set up my website on Wix. Something to that effect. It will walk you through step by step. It's very simple. It's like a child could almost set Wix up really. You pick out, you decide on the domain name that you want. If you're going the free route and you don't purchase your domain, just know your website name is going to be something like www.wix.com/Janae Nicole. It's not going to be JanaeNicole.com. It's going to be the name of whatever free platform you're using plus the slash your name. So just so you know that if you go on a free route, it's going to be some extra characters in that name. Like I said, if it's just a hobby and something you're not quite sure about and you just dabbling around with it and you really don't want to invest any money in it until you see that it's something that you're really going to go forward with, absolutely go to free version. But I really don't recommend it if you are serious. Like I said, purchase your name. It's not going to cost you that much. Even if you purchase it for 1 year and you decide, okay, what was $10 or, $15, whatever it is, it's not going to cost you that much to be out of if that's something that you're really serious and you're thinking about doing. So, but either way, I don't know what your pocket's looking like. So, hey, that is your free option is Wix. The other free option, which if you're gonna go free, this is the way that I really suggest you do it. Go to WordPress.com. WordPress.com is the sister to WordPress.org, which is the paid version. So you would think it would be the opposite, where org is usually like organization is usually the cheaper route. Not this case. In this case, .com is the free version and .org is the paid version. Now I'm gonna give y'all a little tip that even as techie as I am, I didn't figure out until really late in the game, which was so dumb. I paid for my domain name, I had my own hosting and everything, and I was waiting to get WordPress thinking that it was a cost associated with getting WordPress, not knowing it was free all along. It's a free platform, but what you pay for on WordPress is the template. And the template is basically the design options that pretty up the site. So it's like a pre-populated, it's a template. It's a pre-populated outline of what the site is going to look like. So where your sidebars are going to be, where your headings are going to look like, that sort of thing, what kind of colors it's going to have. That's what a template is. So if you just Google website templates, you'll get an idea of what it is if you have no idea what I'm talking about. But that was my story. I didn't know. I had seen so many videos on how to set it up, this, that, and the third, but I didn't realize you didn't pay for WordPress. You paid for the templates. Anyway, I digress. So, I suggest WordPress because the free version translates over to the paid version very simple. Going from a free site that's not WordPress, and if you're going to use WordPress as your platform, it will be so much easier for you if you just go from a free to paid WordPress. That's my recommendation. If you're going to go the free route, I suggest going with WordPress.com. And then when you're ready to go the paid route, you can, of course, just switch over your WordPress site to a paid version. And you can use they have a lot of really nice templates on WordPress that are free. So I would suggest WordPress. Now, WordPress it can be a little bit with the technical stuff. So yeah, I'm not going to lie, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. WordPress does have a learning curve. It's not very simple, but there's lots of tutorials out there. I like to create a website, the number two, create a website. Lisa Irby, she has a ton of information on her website, and that's how I really got started with learning how to set up websites, and she really walks you step by step. Like, she holds your hand through every aspect. And also, she has a affiliate program on her website. I'm not sure if it's her exact company that you can purchase your domain name through, but if you want to buy your www whatever your name is .com, you could go through her website and click on her link to buy your domain name. And that's a black girl who rocks. So if you want to support a black business, absolutely go support Lisa Irby. Like I said, she has so much information on her website that you will become a website. You can become a website guru just by going through the information on her website. So yeah, she's a really, really valuable resource in telling you how to get set up and things like that. And her website is super simple to understand. She has videos. She has a really big YouTube page of videos on how to get things set up and what you need to do. So shout out to Lisa Irby. She's really, really good if you're going to go the route of doing this yourself. What one would hope to have starting their business out, and you're really just trying to make ends meet and wanting to get your website set up, definitely go that route. I mentioned websitepalace.com was one way you can buy your domain, and we already talked about GoDaddy is like the most common that people buy their websites through. Checking GoDaddy.com to buy your domain name. Like I said, it's annual. I mean, you can purchase it for much longer than 1 year, but it's going to cost you more. Now, the second part of getting your website set up is hosting. Once you have your domain name, then you got to decide. Now, this is the paid version. If you're going to pay to have your own hosted website, which is unlike a free website, everything on that site is yours. You own it. It's not like, oh, Facebook can shut down or Wix can shut down and you lose everything. Your website is yours. You own it. It's just better. Okay, so your hosting options are, I'm going to speak on the one that I have. I have HostGator and I really love them. I have not had any problems at all with HostGator. I really like their customer support is really good. When I did have an issue with one of my sites, they helped me. They walked me through it step by step, and it was flawless. Like, they really took good care of me. So, and like I said, I haven't had any problems with my site going down or anything like that. So they're really, really good. I really like HostGator. I have not used GoDaddy has their own hosting now, and I have not used them, so I can't speak to their service or anything like that. But I do know that they are a hosting platform. The other option is Bluehost, which I was going to go with Bluehost, but because they didn't have an option to pay monthly, that's how I ended up going with HostGator. Because Bluehost, I believe at that time, they required you to pay your whole your monthly fee, the whole amount up front, the annual fee. And I was like, no. I'm too cheap for that. You save money, but I'm like, I can't come out of my pocket like that. Not for hosting when I can pay $9.95 a month and just get HostGator. So that's what I did at the time. I was tight and I wanted to get my website up, and I didn't have that money to just go in and throw down $100 and something on my host. I don't remember how much it was, but it was well over $100, and I just didn't have it. So, especially on a hobby, right? But either way, those are some of the hosting. There is way more hosting options, but those are the most popular. WordPress, and then I would say Bluehost would come into a close second. A lot of the marketing guys and a lot of the online businesses that I follow, they use Bluehost and they speak really highly of them. So, I mean, I wouldn't take anything from them. I've heard really, really good things about Bluehost. So, I would recommend them just based on the people that I know of that use them, and they speak highly of them. So, Bluehost is a good second to HostGator. And then, of course, GoDaddy is the third option that I really haven't heard a lot about, but I do know they offer hosting now. The main thing is that you can get your website set up even if you don't have a lot of time or money. You can get your website set up and have at least one page that has some core information about your business and a contact number. It doesn't have to be a big serious thing, even if it's just one page, and somebody can go to that page, see what you have to offer, and how to get in contact with you. Just start somewhere with this website. You don't have to go in and create a whole, scrolling parallax website. Don't make it a big deal. Just get started somewhere, because the main thing with your website is getting that content out there so people can find you and interact with you. That's my main takeaway. Get your website set up so that you can start putting content on it, and so that people can find you and find more about your product. And don't go crazy with it thinking you got to hire a developer to go and make this fabulous website, because if you're brand new at this, nobody even knows who you are. They're not even looking for you. What the kids say, I ain't checking for you. But as your business begins to grow, people going to start, clicking on your website, especially once you start getting more active into your social media channels. Oh, I clicks on me some websites just to see. Oh, you said you a social media marketing specialist. Let me go see what your website looking like. How many followers you have. What your Twitter feed look like. But I'm definitely gonna go check your website out. And if it's janky, that tells me you probably not much further along than I am, actually. And if you are, then you need to get somebody to work on your website, because you sorry. I'm not gonna say that. But no, seriously, get your website set up. It is vitally important in this day and age that you have a website, that you have a web presence that you own. And that's why I highly suggest that you purchase your domain name and you have your own hosting. I'm not going to carry on about this website situation, but I just really want you to understand that it's the seriousness of the situation is that to compete in today's market, you really need to have a web presence. And it is not expensive and it is not that difficult. I will mention one all in one done for you option that I know about. I do know that John Lee Dumas and his crew, they have a podcast website. It's for podcasters where it's just all done for you. So if you're interested in doing a podcast, they have a website for you that is for podcasters. It's, I believe right now, it's like $97 a month. That includes everything. That includes your domain name, your hosting, your security, everything. Everything is $97 a month. Now, that's a little steep for me, but when you look at it, if you're looking at, $10 a year for your domain name, you're looking at about $10 a month for your hosting, the security. I believe one of these sites I looked at, I want to say is either $39 or $69 a month, just for one of those. I think it's WP Curve might be the name of it. I could be wrong. Just that's 30 to $70. I'm not sure how much the cost is, but when you start adding each one of those different things that they have 24/7 support and all kind of bells and whistles to it. Once you start adding it up, it probably could be $97 a month, but I'm not paying that. I'm just paying for hosting monthly right now and annually paying for my name, because I'm cheap and I like to hold on to my coins. But I digress. That's it, girls. I don't have much. Know that you are loved. If you want to reach out, JanaeNicole.com for the show notes, at JobOpt on Twitter, and the Job Optional Podcast on Facebook. All right, girls, I'll holla.